Hello, everybody. Hello, James, Apparition, PDI, Komodo, Jonathan. Welcome to the streams, Eternal Magician, and Apparition. Oh, yeah, you're just right there. God damn it, you posted twice in a row. I welcomed you twice in a row like a fool. Jeez. It just wouldn't be me. Hello, T. You're on early. So lovely to see you here so early. You guys gave me 200 subs. You guys are absolutely insane. You know that. Hello, Ruka. Welcome to the stream. You guys are absolutely nuts. Anyway, this is a bit different than usual. Apologies for the, the black bars on the side, but this is just how this is set up. Umineko Tsubasa. Yeah, it's not episode 4 yet. We are going to start reading a little collection of short stories that were published between episodes. Right now, we're going to read, I think OA said that, hello, Beatrice, welcome to the stream, is that they were marked. Which ones were spoilery and which ones weren't. Uh-oh. Hello, OA. Wait, it's not safe for me to read story 1. Are you serious? I'm pretty sure it should be. OA. Yeah, no. Is this, should I ignore this? Hello, OA? I think this story 1 is fine. Thank you, OA. Okay, here we go. Let's see. To my beloved friend. Are you feeling well? Such a conventional greeting would most certainly sound like sarcasm to you now. That's why it'd be kinder of me to ask like this. Wow, that music is loud. Let me turn it down. That's I've read it already, but I want to read it again with the atmosphere. That's why it'd be kinder of me to ask like this. Are you still alive, my beloved friend? Hello, James. Thanks for the reply the other day. I was very surprised that you still had energy to at least write to me. Well, the one who urged you to write an answer was me, though. Even so, the fact that you mustered energy to at least write for me, for my sake, was a great surprise. Or miracle. And also, thanks for the valuable suggestion. This is really loud for me. Is this too loud for you guys? I'll turn it down if it's too loud. I agree with your opinion, too. Perhaps the wire puller is indeed Lambdadelta. I see. Yeah, okay. That makes... That's because Apparition, this one was modded by 07th Mod Team. Thank you, OA. So yeah, this looks really nice. See, I want them to see all the hard work you guys put into it. And now we know from the ending of episode 3 that Lambda is indeed pulling the strings of Beatrice. She gave Beatrice her powers, well, some power. That girl probably found a witch who has the worst affinity with me, just to take revenge on me, and waited for me to be lured. And I fell to her trap like a duck. I see. I guess this is so ridiculous that it made you write to me. I feel you're wearing your malicious smile. But when I think about your disease, maybe she is a precious being to me. If she is a much higher ranked witch than I, It means that is very close to your disease. I wonder who's sick. Oh, she's probably talking about boredom, the disease, because that's the only thing that can affect witches at that level. In other words, it means that this is the only way to escape from the disease that eats into you, into us, and she is putting it into practice. And ironically, it also means she is teaching it to me. Well, it doesn't matter. But if by getting on with that girl's farce, your disease will get better, I'd like you to please lend me a string. Lambdadelta boasted that I will certainly not be able to win this game board. At that time, I paradoxically identified the Rule X. She's really a stupid girl. In other words, it's like the story that always starts from June 20th. Probably, this is the core of the witch named Beatrice. Indeed, if we consider it that way. This is story 1. This is Berncastle's letter. Armora, welcome to the stream, by the way. Indeed, if we consider it that way, this witch named Beatrice certainly is interesting. She opened up a world that neither I, you, or Lambda know about. I wonder, is it Hanyu? Is Bern talking to Hanyu? I wonder. The rule Y that makes it the source of the magic. It seems Lambdadelta touched it a bit, but two. But Lambda can't possibly reach her level. If we call this very thing magic, then the only one of us who could be called a witch is Beatrice. In that sense, we may say that since she put together her own magic system, even though she's just getting started as a witch, she has already surpassed witches, and she is even starting to approach your own level. Hello, Niggles. Welcome to the stream. As she was fully aware of that, not even Lambdadelta would be a match for her, and I even less. And most probably, I'll be affected with the same disease as you. However, even so, this is really interesting. I see this Rule Y as the very existence of the witch Beatrice. That's right. I managed to analyze this far. And of course, there's the final rule, Rule Z. Because the number of phenomena being observed that can't be explained with rules X and Y alone is way too big. I'm not entirely sure what Rule Z actually is. According to Lambdadelta, it seems that this component has a lethally bad affinity with me. If we assume those words are a hint, then what on earth is this component? For a while, I had assumed that Rule Z is a maze-like existence, hiding the truth. In other words, a maze to not let me come close to rules X and Y. My power is just like writing up a map, making sure I don't miss a single fork in this maze, and it's taking me 100 years. In other words, no matter how complex the maze is. There's a typo here, yeah. One day, I'll certainly be able to walk through it. By the way, if it was Lambdadelta, I guess she'd just keep on walking along the walls until she arrived at the exit, even if it took her 1,000 years. No, actually she would drill holes in the walls in a straight line until she reaches the exit, without taking a single detour. So how does such a maze have a bad affinity with me? There's only one thing I can think of. Perhaps this is a maze for which a map cannot possibly be written. For example, perhaps the maze has an indefinite, ever-changing shape. I take it that to mean that the reason behind the murders and the why of the killings is different every time, as opposed to before, it was always the same reason. I see. If this is the general idea, I'll be able to explain it with the rock, paper, scissors game that Lambdadelta talked about. I can't reach the end of the maze when the power's given to me. But to her with her drill, this maze is nothing. I can understand it using this as a general idea, but to consider it a rule? Rules are supposed to be immutable. Something so indefinite being a rule is beyond my understanding. Even though this rule should be solid, it is actually fluid, kind of like mercury. In Latin, mercury means living silver. They believed that it leads to perpetual youth, and it was highly valued as a research object by the alchemists. It's ironic because it's poisonous as all hell. Turns out this is connected to alchemy and witches, and she considers herself to be a witch. Unless I can unravel this rule Z. No, because I can't unravel it. Beatrice will remain as an actual, real witch. I get bored from writing this much. If you did read up to this point, you must be laughing. I'd be willing to bet on it. And now that you're seeing me make this face, you'll want to sneer at me even more. Before long, I'll go to pay you a visit. Your get-well gift is me. Sneer at me as much as you want, since I know you enjoy that. Please, revive at last, so I can meet a friend who I haven't seen for so long. From your friend, who hopes that you still care about her, Berncastle. Love is an illusion, a misunderstanding. Oh, it's Renove. Love is an illusion, a misunderstanding. No! Many things were found from this room. From the evidence, it's possible to see that I am loved by you. Oh, now that's Berncastle. No, it's going too fast. Fuck. No! God damn it! This is an unusual place. Fucking hell. I'm so sorry, you guys. You're gonna have to read that in the VOD, because that went way too fast. You'll post them in the Discord? Thank you, James. That is okay. Thank you so much, James. Ah, you're a real peach. Thank you. Here we go. What Renove's poem is. Love is an illusion, a misunderstanding. Mutual love is a mutual understanding of being mutually loved. An engagement is a vow to not wake up from your whole life from that misunderstanding. And here is Berncastle's. Many things were found from his room. From those evidences, it is possible to deduce that I am loved by you. Many things were found from my room. From those evidences, it is possible to deduce that I also love you. Nothing was found from her room. However, I can't deny the existence of an undiscovered evidence X of unfaithfulness. Frederica Berncastle. Thank you so much. Okay, Ruka posted them in the Discord. Thank you. That is so nice of you guys. Okay. Yeah, okay. Now here's spoiler warnings. Which ones can I read and which ones can I not? Here we go. Okay. Oe, I want to thank you so much for marking these for me. So we're going to read 2 more. We're going to read a story from the perspective of Goda. But first, we're going to read Memoirs of Lambdadelta. Lambdadelta is known as the Witch of Certainty. Seems the number of humans wanting her to grant their wishes is endless. Ironic? Let's see. In gratitude for the letter from the other day, relevant fragments included Memoirs of Lambdadelta. Boredom is poison for us. So to relieve it somewhat... Okay. Boredom is poison for us. I have to get used to the freaking Lambda voice, but the serious Lambda voice, which is new. Boredom is poison for us. So to relieve it somewhat, I grant the desires of humans sometimes. I will grant you one wish. That sounds so bittersweet. These words alone can replace sugar for tea for 7 years. Those who hear those words from me enjoy the bittersweetness as well. Of course, I also enjoy it, hearing the kinds of wishes they come up with. After all, it could happen that I'll end up meeting a new friend. That's okay, OA. In the beginning, I could barely do the battler/Keiichi voice for 5 minutes without getting strained. And now I can give like whole speeches with it, so I'm totally cool. I want to stretch my voice. After all, it could happen that I'll end up meeting a new friend. Unfortunately, my expectations always end up being betrayed. That girl told me that expectations are similar to tea leaves. You can't make tea without them. It's just hot water. That's why any world must have an appropriate amount of expectations, hopes, and dreams. This was a fitting example for her. If there's too many tea leaves, the tea is just as undrinkable as raw hot water. That's why I'll use a proper quantity, the amount she taught me, and maybe just a bit less. I can't drink tea that is too bitter, so I don't add a lot of tea leaves. Can I really wish for anything? What's the catch? I'm sick and tired of such boring doubts. So in secret, I turned an hourglass upside down. If the superhuman can't come up with even a single wish in 5 minutes, they're not good enough to turn into tea. So, if the hourglass runs out, it's time out. Goodbye. Here's one of the most annoying wishes that I encounter often. I want you to increase the number of wishes you can grant. They try to increase the affinity of 1 to infinity this way. Could it be that those stupid people somehow feel a sense of superiority in that, as if they approach creators? However, I get the exact opposite impression from this. I will grant you one wish. And one wish alone is enough to create an entire universe. Allow me to explain. One wish does not necessarily mean you have to wish for something countable. So, when they start counting things, it
becomes obvious that the miracles they're thinking of are worthless. What kind of boring things will a person like that wish for, even if they had 100 wishes? People like that are worthless. It's the same thing as with tea. If you ever use the same tea leaves 100 times over, it's obvious that the tea will become even more diluted and unappetizing. So, if someone makes this kind of a boring wish, I simply tell them, yes, alright, I'll grant your wish. See you later. Then I disappear. And they just keep waiting for me to come back, thinking of various different wishes, and then they die without even one of them being granted. Ah, idiots! After that, the next typical wish is, I want a lot of money. Obviously, this answer is also boring. What's so great about money? Do they think that a traveler in the desert, suffering from hunger and thirst, would jump in happiness seeing a wad of bills? That they couldn't even eat or drink? This kind of a narrow freedom is only useful within the framework known as the currency system. The narrow-mindedness of such desires. It's truly disappointing. Would a 25-cent coin be useful for a Japanese vending machine? Could you spend 100 yen at a street stall in Africa? I'm grieving for a loved one. Would money help you finally forget them? I want love. I want happiness. Desires like these disappoint me too. I could just say, don't worry. You already have happiness and love. And that would make their wish come true. So stupid. Love and happiness are similar to air. They fill the world, but you don't notice them at all, as if they're not even there. People wishing for such obvious things disappoint me.
Jeez, wow. Gotta keep trying.
And, can I say something else? Love and happiness are as varied as people themselves. Love and happiness are just generic terms for an incredibly wide variety of different things. Jesus fucking Christ. Just a cheap tactic to make weak people stronger. These boring people are not unable to express their version of love and happiness without resorting to such abstract terms. So no matter how many decades they live, they won't ever actually get to feel neither love nor happiness. Ah, idiots! I want to never lose to anyone. At first, that wish interested me slightly, but then I decided that to anyone is too much to ask for. I mean, hell, that could even include me.
Oh, the magic power.
You can't win if there's nobody to fight against. So, as soon as such people would defeat their enemies, they'd lose their will to live. Even though I could create and destroy entire universes from them, because I am pretty much above a god, why do people's wishes never cross the limits imposed by human society? This is why they're humans and not witches. Among all these boring people, I met a girl who seemed to have potential.
This is interesting. I wonder who she's talking about.
After spending some time frozen from shock, she told me this. Please guarantee that my efforts will certainly not be in vain. Huh? What? I told you that I could grant you any wish, but you want you to do it yourself? You want me to guarantee that you'll succeed. What's the point? Sometimes people pretend to be philosophers and wish for something they themselves do not understand. She must be one of those types, I thought. Her efforts are not limited by numbers. She was asking for something similar to those who want infinite wishes. But deep inside her eyes, I saw something different from what I see in other people with this kind of a wish. Even though the sand in the hourglass ran out, I decided to listen to her story a bit longer. I'm telling you, you can wish for anything and I will grant it instantly. You don't have to put forward any effort at all. Any wish at all is fine, but you do only get one. I told you, my wishes can't be counted. You mean you want me to grant a large number of wishes? How greedy of you! No, I have a single goal, but the path to it is complicated, and many difficulties will arise on my way. Infinitely many. However, I believe that I can forge my path to my single goal without making any mistakes, and that I will certainly reach it. Certainly reach the goal. Certainly. Certainly. That's not a wish anymore. In human words, this is determination.
Okay, I'll stop. Jeez.
And in which words, this is fate. Wishes that definitely come true are not really defined by determination. This is perhaps better called predestination. But that's not something humans are capable of creating. I saw the radiance of a soul close to mine at that time. She wanted just a single thing. I wish that she would certainly be able to grant herself predestination. Make me believe in my own power.
Whoa! Oh, no fucking way! Are you fucking serious? God damn it, Ryukishi, I thought I was being original with that. Fucking hell. Oh. Well, I have to rethink that bloody plot line. I'm thinking of a story. And one of the characters had a freaking power that was to actually literally make themselves believe in their own self. God damn it. Fucking hell. Jeez.
Make me believe in my own power. I thought this was interesting. I decided I could grant this wish. But before I did that, I thought I would double check, just in case. I wanted to know the actual goal of her predestination. That she would certainly reach, as she claims. Perhaps she hasn't surpassed the human level just yet. Perhaps she is just another boring person. But I have already gathered the tea leaves. I was certain that she would live up to my expectations. Tell me, what do you truly wish for? What do you want your fate to be?
This is... Oh my God. You! Oh my God. 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 Well, okay. Oh my God. Was Lambda so impressed with her wish that she took on her appearance? Oh my god. Oh my god. We are getting to explaining shit about Higurashi. And that's what she means by Burncastle beat her. Because she was able to stand against her magic. Oh my god. Oh my god. My mind is literally fucking blown. That's, oh my god.
I will become a god. That phrase alone made me certain. I granted her wish. I guaranteed that her efforts would not be in vain. And then Burncastle fucked it up! Her determination, to me, was already as good as fate. And to her, my guarantee has become fate as well. That's why everything she experiences from now on will be fate. But her fate actually has a weak point. Her determination is the root of her wish, so if she loses that, everything will end when the Higurashi cry. Besides, I did guarantee that her efforts won't be in vain, but I never specified just how much effort she would have to put forth. So it could take her an eternity. Unless she gives up, of course. Well, anyway. If she could just honestly wish for becoming a god, she'd have gotten a perfect score from me. On the other hand, turning a human into a god is impossible, as gods think differently from humans. A human would need to gradually get used to the pressure of being almighty, making short steps with their efforts. Perhaps our world is like an endless stepladder going down into a bottomless pit. You could go down slowly and cowardly, or you could hurry down wondering where the end is. But if you make a misstep, you will forever fall into the bottomless hell below. In a way, she was taking the careful route. Oh, well. I won't deny that she disappointed me somewhat with how careful she was, since I wanted to hurry down the depths I found myself in. That girl worked very, very hard. But I think I overestimated her after all. Unfortunately, she was far from reaching the world I hoped for. But that's okay, since she created a new witch and sent her to me. Birdie birds! After that, I drifted through countless worlds for quite some time. Sometimes I found humans that seemed interesting, so I asked them the same question. But I haven't met anyone who would ask for a wish that would surpass that of that girl. Damn, she was one in a fucking million. That is, until I met that child. Please, turn me into a witch.
Huh. Okay, so it could be... So it could be a guy or a girl saying this. Ryukichi's note, this person uses the English word witch in their speech, which is not gender specific. Okay.
Wow! How direct! Yes! Those are the words I always wanted to hear. But that, again, I decided to double check. A witch? Oh! Do you want to fly through the skies on a broom? Or perhaps duplicate biscuits inside of your pocket? Of course, I would be capable of that, she said. I become a witch, I'll be able to do anything I want to. And now, there's nothing I cannot do, because I'm already a witch. I remember that their eyes had the radiance of the eyes of that little girl I missed so much. I felt the aroma of sweet tea leaves that I haven't felt for almost 1,000 years now. That's right. She's the same as that girl. This person will grant, create, accomplish everything on their own.
Is it Beatrice?
Their strong eyes had predestination in them. But even that little girl has said she's moving towards
I think there's a typo here.
her goal, whereas this person boldly proclaimed that they have already reached it. They caught my interest. Wait a moment! You're saying that you're already a witch? Are you implying that you've reached the same level as me, the witch's certainty who bears the title of lady? I can make universes come and go with a snap of my fingers! I'm Thanos times 50, you punk-ass bitch! Know your place, you puny human! Yes, I am already a witch. I need but one thing, to be acknowledged and recognized as such.
This is Beatrice.
By another witch. That witch is pretty much the same as that little girl. How brave! I see, if you're given the title of a witch, nobody can deny that, huh? But tell me this. Creators remain creators even if they aren't acknowledged or recognized by anyone.
That's absolutely true.
Witches are the same. Whether or not I recognize you, you should remain a witch anyway. Right? Yes. I have already started to surpass human limits. You could say that I'm already a higher being than any human. That I need my superiority to be accepted by someone who is even in higher rank than I am. A human could tell you that you surpassed their levels, but only a witch could tell you if you reached hers. Is that what you mean? You want Senpai to notice you? Indeed. I'm aware that I have transcended the human world and have entered a world above that as a witch. I would like you, as another witch, to acknowledge that. You mean to become a witch you need the recommendation of another one? This isn't exactly a freaking 7-Eleven job, you know. That's very interesting, but then, who would acknowledge the very first witch? Perhaps humans themselves granted the title of a witch to some being that surpassed them. So, then even if I don't recognize you, you're already a witch. Yes, I am already a witch. And so, I need acknowledgement of a witch on a higher level than me. Notice me, Senpai! I feel like I'm being deceived with torturous sophisms. What if I refuse? Then I will force you to acknowledge me. Not even you will be able to deny that I am a witch. I wonder what kind of a compendium a human could create. Could I take a look? The aroma of sweet tea that surrounded this person reminded me of chirping of birds in spring. After an extremely long journey, I realized that I had met a resilient witch, the kind that I haven't seen for a long time. Then, I plunged myself into studying the formulas of their magic compendium. And thanks to bizarre explanations that only they themselves could give me, I understood that this person's magic wasn't on a level far surpassing my own. Certainly they're still a bit clumsy. their magical world is still incomplete. However, the formula for its creation is flawless and possesses endless possibilities. Endless. It'll probably take them a long time to learn to deal with this infinity, but without any doubt, the door for them was already open. And above everything, this witch has managed to create a compendium of magic in the human world. That's no small feat. The more a witch seeks freedom and power, the more they are free from any restrictions. What I mean by that is, of course, the restrictions imposed by the material world. In other words, they'll be steadily moving away from the world of humans, like me and other witches of my rank did. However, this witch has managed to do that while in the world of humans. What are you, some kind of genius? That is, they could step into our world in their human form! Son of a bitch! And besides, their composition formula is extremely deep. It's as if they're flying down to the bottom of steps while holding an umbrella that doubles as a parachute. This is Mary fucking Poppins! Jesus Christ! These same depths that I had to descend using a stepladder for 1,000 years, taking one step after another, and they're flying fast! Of course, there's the danger of the umbrella breaking, in which case it will fall into hell, just like that. Because of their recklessness, because of modest life for this type of humans combined with my interest for this new witch, I started to shed light on a world unknown even to me, and felt honored to taste tea that was this sweet. However, that's just my own theory. A game theory, a witch theory. It explains that all beings are placed somewhere between two extremes. The side that creates fate and the side that follows it. Humans are the ones that follow. They're stupid, helpless, unable to create anything worthwhile. However, they have solid ground to stand on. This ground doesn't betray them, so they can live without fear of falling into hell. The side that creates fate is the creators, the omniscient and almighty. But the fact that they can create anything and have no restrictions placed on them means that they also don't have the restriction of the ground under their feet. Beings that have no restrictions imposed on them leaves even the restriction of meaning. The very concept of life and death disappears for them and then they reach the limit of zero.
My god, this is just like Yukari in Toho. Interesting. Zune and Ryukishi, I guess, really do know each other, because this is kind of, she's kind of describing the state of being that Yukari Yakumo is in. And she looks a lot like Lambdadelta, but older. If you've ever seen what Yukari Yakumo looks like, she does look a lot like Lambdadelta, so I wonder if that was done on purpose.
Or else they fall, crumble, and vanish like mist. I think that witches belong somewhere in the middle. We create fate and play around with it. We have fun with that freedom. But we still accept certain limits and restrictions, giving us some footing so that we won't fall down. Those witches that aren't afraid of falling are much more powerful than I am. Will this person become a teacup that relieves just a moment of the endless boredom on my 1,000-year journey? Or will they become a witch that far surpasses who I am and show me some unknown new world? Well, I really don't care, honestly. If you were to assume that I'm not a traveler headed toward hell, but instead a disaster victim trying her hardest not to drown, then for me, this person is a splendid piece of wood to hold on to. Will they become my savior and take me into unknown world? Or are they just another cup of tea to make my day more elegant? Very well! I have no complaints. Upon the name of Lambdadelta, the witch of certainty, I recognize you as a witch! Come on down! As long as your magical world remains certainly magical, I will continue being your guardian. Let's give her a round of applause, folks! I can't drink tea this delicious on my own. I have to call my friend. Ring, 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 ring. Hey, hey, birdie birds, birdie birds!
What is it, Lambda? I'm really tired.
No. Listen, you gotta come over here. Please, I swear I'm not gonna try to kill you. Please.
Do you promise? Do you really promise, Lambda, that you're not going to try to kill me? And get me wrapped up in a whole huge mess?
I fucking swear on my honor that totally exists. I swear it. Come over here.
Okay. I'm bored anyway.
I should surprise her with a wonderful tea party.
That's Lambdadelta's signature. Oh my god. There we go. Okay. Damn! Wow! That was huge! That was huge! Holy shit. That was amazing! That was absolutely huge! And I hope the Lambdadelta voice didn't scratch you guys' ears too much.
I know it can be kind of annoying, especially when spoken to in a long period of time.
You think in the original PDI the ears were a lambda and a delta. That would make sense. Oh my god. Jeez. It wouldn't render properly in English, so yeah, you just left that. That makes sense that way. Alright, we have one more to go. It's a story about Goda. Notes from a certain chef. Goda has been employed as the sole chef of Rokonjima. He recounts the ghost stories of the Ushiramiya mansion. I am writing things down so that I can forget them. I hope that only I have to know about any of this. Since they're known as the 7 Izu Islands, I originally believed that the Izu archipelago actually does consist of 7 islands, and nothing more than that. At first, I was told that Rokonjima was a rather small island. However, my poor imagination drew me a picture of a tiny island with a single palm tree on it when I heard that. Compared to that, Rokonjima was actually quite vast. The coastline of the island was a little over 6 miles, 10 kilometers. The overall length of the island would be almost 2 miles, 3 kilometers. On a map, it'll certainly look small. But when you take into account that it's a private island, with only the mansion of the Ushiramiya family built there, its vastness becomes something unimaginable. I even remember how the presence of the imposing mansion on the other side of the beautiful rose garden greatly surprised me when I first arrived here. Not even in my wildest dreams could I imagine that my life as a cook would lead me to a mansion of billionaires. That was like a manga or a fairy tale.
It all started with me getting extremely unlucky. I worked at a restaurant in a well-known hotel, and it was a wonderful job full of both pride and tension. It was a place where wonderfully talented cooks competed with their skills. The bonds between us were even stronger than our pride or any tradition. But everything collapsed when the head chef, who united everyone with his strong charisma, suddenly retired due to illness. For us cooks, our skills and pride mean everything, and the only people we can respect are cooks that surpass us. That's why, under this head chef's control, we all performed our work as one, no matter how impatient, inflexible, or young we were. So perhaps this was an inevitable consequence of the head chef suddenly retiring. We have split into several factions. We expected the most popular person in the kitchen to become head chef. He was highly valued for his achievements, skills, and leadership over the enthusiastic juniors. However, he was also strong-willed. He didn't get along very well with the hotel management. The management needed a cook who would show satisfactory results within suitable budgets and deadlines. Not a cook who would ignore those, but produce an amazing result. This clash of priorities became a problem. The candidate that the management ended up choosing was an indecisive man.
There, Will Jam Chad. I'm gonna start episode 4 after this. I got a triple shot espresso right here.
He was more interested in showing his subservience to the management than actually making food. Instead of improving his cooking skill, he was only spending time figuring out how to get a promotion. In the end, this man became the head chef. The person all of us wanted to see in that position instead ended up as his assistant. We couldn't accept this result, but we decided to keep working under these conditions for a while to see how things turned out. However, the difference between him and his predecessor was immediately obvious, which caused the cooks to explode in their dissatisfaction. Many did not approve of his method that ignored their pride as cooks, and of course, that included me. Before long, assistants and sympathizers both decided to force the management to negotiate by slapping them with our resignation letters. At this point, it didn't seem like we had any other choice. Back there, I was the youngest, but I still wouldn't lose to anyone, neither in skill nor in pride. Thinking back on it, I think I didn't quite grasp the fact that I was not only a cook, but also an employee of the hotel. At first, the assistants weren't interested in such careless methods. Later, I understood. The young people like me were very enthusiastic about this chance at a revolt against the new head chef. But the end result was unexpected. The management talked some of the assistants out of quitting, and they didn't join in our revolt. After that, the hotel decided to clear the kitchen of the remaining dissidents. They talked the most useful and skillful people out of residing, and purposely overlooked the attempt at a revolt. I didn't get it right away, but the hotel could easily fire me now. We, the young ones, have been insulting our colleagues who decided not to participate. We called the assistants traitors and started planning a counterattack against them, but a cook is a cook because he cooks. Otherwise, he could not make a living. Starting with the calmer ones, one by one, they quietly backed out from that uproar and disappeared after getting another job. Only then did I realize just how inexperienced I was. The title of a former cook in a prestigious restaurant can be both a weapon and a burden. Finding a new job wasn't easy. I tried to find employment at restaurants and hotels of the same level, where all participants of this industry have strong horizontal bonds. Details of all the trouble were already well known, and I heard there were even some circulating letters that stated that if they hired anyone who was involved, their relations would... a typo here. Would have to be reconsidered.
They were blacklisted. Oh, God.
There was nothing indicating that I can call myself a cook ever again. And then this crazy old man suddenly showed up and whisked me away to his island. One day, suddenly, I got a call from a young man who sympathized with me and resigned at the same time I did. He told me that a self-certain multi-millionaire was looking for a live-in cook.
This CG was reused in Higurashi, too.
The pay wasn't bad at all, but I got the impression that the working conditions would be rather severe. The young man told me this to return a past favor. From what I understood, they were looking for an exclusive and very skillful cook. However, very skillful cooks would usually already have a job that wouldn't leave them any free time. They would also have bonds of gratitude with their workplace, which means they never thoughtlessly resign just because pay somewhere else was better. In other words, it was a perfect job offer for someone like myself. Working as an exclusive cook on a remote island didn't sound bad. Besides, my financial situation didn't allow me to be picky anymore. Furthermore, such a high status would satisfy my youthful pride. Thus, I applied as a cook to the Ushiromiya family. Ten more were gathered there beside me. If I recall correctly, I was the oldest person there. I thought I was still young, and being among a bunch of people younger than myself was, well, awkward. But the young ones had a lot of inspiration. If they had more experience, they would probably become wonderful cooks. In terms of experience, I really had the upper hand here. Also, I was highly valued for my skills when serving the customers, which I learned with the previous head chef. The difference between a cook that never leaves the kitchen and a cook that brings food out to the customers and talks to them is obvious. That's why I felt that I would get this job. There was still the chance that they would pick someone young, because habits from other workplaces will cause trouble or some shit like that. In the end, it was really up to luck. Later, Madame Natsuhi told me that she gave me the final word that I'll get the job, and I could see a smile on her face. And thus, I became the exclusive cook who would serve the Ushiromiya family. For the duration of the contract, I could not offer my food to anyone except this family. Nobody will see my cooking except the Ushiromiya family. Not bad. And thus started my second life at the Rokonjima mansion.
Interesting. So this whole thing is Goda's backstory. That's really interesting. It's nice that we get a little extra blurb about a minor character in this kind of thing.
My past troubles as a cook and as a servant would be very tedious and uninteresting to write about. It would be too boring. That's why I decided to write down interesting things about my working life in Rokonjima. And the most interesting thing is, no doubt, the legend of Beatrice the Golden Witch. All over Japan, wherever you are, there are stories about curses and such. Of course, the hotel I used to work at had plenty of these. So the first time I heard this story at my new job, I smiled bitterly and thought, oh, not this again. But this story was different from the others. Most of the stories in Japan focus on ghosts or yokai. This legend of Beatrice the Golden Witch was different enough from that to make me uncomfortable. However, this mansion of the Rokonjima family gives you a sensation of anachronism. So even if a ghost like Oiwa-san with her head wrapped in a triangular bandage were to come out, you'd probably only snicker at her instead. Perhaps ghost stories do suit a mansion like this one. They say that the lady from the portrait in the reception hall wanders about the mansion every night. They say that this lady rules the mansion at night, that if you don't respect her, you'll meet a cruel fate, and so on and so forth. I heard that a servant spoke ill of Lady Beatrice, and that this very same servant ended up retiring soon with a serious injury.
I wonder if that's going to be an important character later.
In other words, anything bad that happens to this island may get attributed to the curse of Lady Beatrice. Further expanding on that, it means that whenever something bad happens, the one who gets the blame is the person who doesn't respect her. I quickly figured out that out, and made sure to act like I respected Beatrice deeply. But in my heart I sneered at her, since there was no way something so absurd existed. This ghost story of Beatrice was blindly accepted by the senior servants. Respect her or you'll be cursed. Thanks to phrases like that, it felt like a person might die an unnatural death if they don't respect the witch. There's a strong aura warning us not to speak ill of Lady Beatrice, and not to take her lightly. Even shouting about her over tea wasn't something we ever did. As strange as it may be, if you live among people like this for a long time, you start to think like them. I was starting to become afraid that one day, during my usual night patrol, I might pass by in front of that huge portrait and her eyes would glare at me. Even so, I was above these simple horror stories. Or so I thought. The night rounds are difficult, since we have to check if all the doors and windows are closed inside this huge mansion. On the other hand, the family was already asleep, and I could relax somewhat as a servant. One night, when I was passing by the reception hall, I saw a silhouette disappearing towards the grand staircase. I heard footsteps too. Since I had thought that Master and Madam were already sleeping, and I was kind of slacking around, I got gratefully flustered and tense. That floating shadow left the impression of a female figure. Among the servants, there's one with a silhouette like that. So I automatically thought it was Madam.
There's no one with a... Wait, what? Was this from before Shannon joined? 'Cause she's pretty fucking hot. Jeez. Oh, this is probably from when Shannon was just a little kid, I bet. Okay, that's probably what
I think carefully. That was quite a strange story. Madam is an extremely serious person, and always said that the corridors inside the mansion were the same as public roads. In other words, she meant that people shouldn't walk around the corridors in informal clothing, such as pajamas. Actually, even when the people of the Uchiramiya family were at home, they were always using formal garments to make it easier on the sprite artist. At home, one should relax and wear more comfortable clothing, but such logic didn't apply to this family. I actually have seen Madam chewing Milady out for having her clothes out of shape. So, after thinking carefully, I concluded that no such silhouette was supposed to exist in this mansion. The more I think about it, the less likely it seems that it was a person from the mansion. Then who on earth did I see?
That is weird, Jam Trap. Huh. That goes back to my theory about Shannon. You know, Shannon has been working there for 10 years. But then wouldn't George and everybody, like... wouldn't they know? It's 1986, though. And considering Kraus is the master of the house, and we know his attitudes towards shit, like... this is really confusing.
Then who on earth did I see? Was it really Lady Beatrice? I saw the silhouette in the reception hall. In other words, in front of a portrait. After some time passed, I felt even more scared than the moment I saw the silhouette. Canon, do you have a minute? I'm washing and tidying up the tools, after which I plan to clean the grand staircase. Why? He is a servant who used the alias of Canon, and who was allowed to wear the one-winged eagle. From the very start, I thought I wouldn't be able to get along well with him because he looks like a big edgelord, and now I did not even want to try anymore. However, that moment was so unusual that I wanted to discuss it with him. He's been serving the Ushomiya family longer than I have, and knows the details about the horror story of Beatrice. Even so, I can't help talking to him as if I'm his superior. That's how I felt when talking to him. But for now, I just wanted to talk to someone about my experience. I don't care what he says to me. I won't be able to calm down until I talk to someone. I see. Now I understand the feelings of the barber who could not but scream, "The king has donkey ears!"
I think that's a fairy tale or something. I haven't heard it.
I think I saw Lady Beatrice tonight. Has that ever happened to you, Canon? He remained silent and stared at me motionlessly, as if evaluating me. It was as though he was a cat, pondering about whether to stay or to run away. When I started to think he was just ignoring me, Canon answered. Once, when I was doing the rounds, during my shift, late at night, I saw a golden butterfly. A golden butterfly? They say that when Lady Beatrice appears, they fly around to announce her presence, right? Indeed, they do say that butterflies that shine of gold are an omen of Lady Beatrice's appearance. That story was very similar to the will-o'-the-wisps that appear before a ghost shows up. But unlike the will-o'-the-wisps, golden butterflies don't have an ominous image associated with them. I would actually want to see such a beautiful thing at least once, if it really exists, even if it's only a few moments before my death. However, if I happen to meet them during a night round all alone, I'm sure they look really ominous. The old servants say that the golden butterflies announce the appearance of Lady Beatrice, and that we might meet her if we were to follow them. But they also tell us not to follow. So, Canon, you didn't follow after them? No. Going after them would be the same as disrespecting Lady Beatrice. If I remember, a servant who followed after them had a serious injury and resigned, right? Yes, I have heard of that. Lady Beatrice is kind to those who respect her, but cruel to those who do not. Canon's mood hinted that even talking about Lady Beatrice was a really bad idea. It was beyond his usual dislike towards me. Sorry for wasting your time. I guess I made a mistake. Perhaps it was Madame or Milady wearing a pajama.
Why aren't they talking about Shannon? She's gotta be there, doesn't she?
Madame or Milady would absolutely never go out in the corridor wearing such clothing.
But I did see a figure. It was like that of a woman wearing a negligee.
I don't think Madame or Milady even have clothes like that.
How would you know that, Canon? Jeez.
It's possible that this was the answer I actually wanted to hear. That female silhouette was neither Madame nor Milady. Could it really have been Lady Beatrice? I don't understand. I don't want to acknowledge the existence of witches just because of this. I need to figure out whose shadow it was. Perhaps this intention of mine was reflected on my face.
Another typo here.
Canon said, as though warning me.
Goda, do not say anything. For your own good, you should be careful with acts that might insult Lady Beatrice.
Not at all, no. I wasn't intending to do anything of the sort.
I, too, not so long ago, have doubted the existence of Lady Beatrice.
Huh? Even you, Canon?
Yes, I had the same opinion you did. I was doubtful of the existence of this mysterious witch, and confused by the insistence of the old servant to respect her. I even thought about discovering her true face, if she had one.
That was unexpected. I was thinking that Canon believed in Lady Beatrice blindly, but now he's telling me that he had doubts about her existence in the past. Now I was even more worried. And what do you believe now, Canon?
Because I was shown a miracle that only a witch could possibly do. No, not a miracle. It was a warning. A warning from Lady Beatrice herself not to doubt or insult her.
Sorry, but could you tell me about this in detail?
He went silent once again.
Oh, he went silent once again. However, I wanted to do something about the haze in my heart, so I didn't give up. I kept insisting, and he told me about the story of how he started to believe in the witch. In short, it went like this. One day, he was cleaning the gardening storehouse. He forgot to put the key of the storehouse back into the key box in the servant's room, and went to bed with it in his pocket.
Going back to episode 1 here with stuff.
You can only open and close the storehouse with this one single key. There's no spare, and master keys don't work with this lock. In other words, nobody should have been able to enter the storehouse that night. Next morning, in order to do the maintenance in the rose garden, he opened the gardening storehouse to get the tools and was shocked. The thoroughly cleaned interior of the gardening storehouse was transformed into an utter mess.
Oh my god, really? Interesting. I wonder if that was to prepare for the murders of part 1.
And there was an eerie drawing on the floor of something that looked like a magic circle in blood-like red paint. What an absurd story. If you had the key the whole time, the storehouse was a closed room. No one would be able to make a mess inside or draw such strange pictures.
I also couldn't believe it back then. Even to this day, I remember the shock I experienced from opening the storehouse and seeing both the mess that only a tornado could have made and the eerie magic circle.
Of course, in a situation like this, it couldn't have not looked eerie. But is there truly no simple explanation? It could have just been an elaborate prank. Someone prepared to frighten you. It was all an elaborate ruse.
A prank?
Yes, precisely. You are young. To tease you, the other sevens could have played a prank on you, couldn't they?
But I had the key. At least during that night. There's no way anyone could have entered the storehouse.
Couldn't there be a spare that you simply don't know about?
There should be no such thing.
Why are you so certain? You believe that a spare doesn't exist, but you can't prove that. Perhaps a spare key exists, and you simply don't know about it. If there was only a way you could say words in a specific color, and that color would make them absolutely true. But sadly, no such thing exists. This allows us to explain the incomprehensible closed room as someone's prank. I started feeling like a great detective. Cannon didn't object against my explanation. My mood improved. I ended up criticizing Lady Beatrice. Witches don't exist. Surely it was a misunderstanding. All of the incomprehensible incidents that the witch is allegedly responsible for could be explained with simple tricks or coincidences. I'll never forget the wide-eyed expression Cannon showed me at that moment. It was as if he said, "You'll never get away unharmed after saying such dreadful things." It was as though he was frightened by my stupidity. A face like that. That uncanny expression of his got stuck in my heart as a thorn. I froze and remained like that for a while. And then, one day, when I was starting to forget the pain of that thorn, it was a rare day when Master Kinzo was out. Master Kraus, Madam, and Milady were also absent because of a trip, meaning the whole Ushiromiya family was gone from the island. A truly rare day indeed.
The music is really quiet for me now. How is it for everybody else? Is it too quiet or is it okay? Could you hear it? Because it just got really quiet for me.
Because of that, the shift child only had a few people assigned, so that day, only Genji and I were on duty. They often say that when the cat's away, the mice will play. It really was a pleasant day. Genji never left the servant room or was busy with paperwork. So I was secretly but carefreely strolling through the rose garden with a beer can and a persimmon. It really was a pleasant, wonderful day. And I wish that I could have a day like this at least once a week. The only thing I had to do was cook for myself and Genji, which was a piece of cake. The cooking wasn't too troublesome. So, having such a rare opportunity, I cleaned the kitchen more diligently than usual, and was rewarded with a reflection of my wide smile in the sparkling kitchen sink. Genji was in charge of patrolling, so when I was finished with my work, I returned to the servants' room, and to get rid of the daily fatigue, I took a shower. Suddenly, the phone rang. I thought that calling at this hour meant it was something urgent. But Genji never calls in the middle of the night, even if something urgent happens. He'd rather avoid the phone call and go up to knock on the door of the person he had business with. I wondered what must have happened for Genji, of all people, to call. In a rush, I covered myself with a bath towel and picked up the phone. Did something happen? His answer to that was really simple. Come to the kitchen as soon as you can. Hurry. It was strange for Genji's voice to sound so nervous. However, the tone of his voice made me realize something very strange must have happened. But what on earth could have happened? By the way, the kitchen to me was my fortress. If whatever happened there was due to my ineptitude, I would be responsible. But how could I, of all people, mess something up in the kitchen? I'm motherfucking Goda. Kitchen master. Anyway, I changed clothes once again and rushed to the kitchen. And then, I'll probably never forget what I saw there. This! What's the meaning of this? I want you to help me out here. It's too much for me to handle alone. Looking at this bizarre situation, I was surprised at how Genji sounds surprised but only expressing the nervousness of his voice. Either way, my beloved kitchen that I tidied up so well should have been in perfect condition. So why is it like this? On the counter, the pots and bowls that had been polished until they shined were piled up like children's building blocks. And around it, the cookware, such as the ladles, were lined up radially. The impression it gave off at first could be described as like that of a totem pole, built out of cookware. Moreover, they were surrounded by thick, blood-like red paint, in the shape of an eerie, magical circle. Of course, shivers went up my spine. And then in my mind, the thorn from that time was revived. Isn't this the same thing that Cannon saw in the gardening storehouse? I was damn sure that that was the case. Goda, the other servants must not see this. Let's hurry up and clean. Right, let's clean. Oh, wait, no. Who could have done such a thing? What a strange story. Today, only I and Genji were on Rokonjima. I would never do such an absurd thing. Say this automatically makes Genji the culprit. But would he ever do something like this? What would he gain from such a prank? Does he just want to harass me? But Genji is cleaning too. How would he make such a mess and clean it on his own? Would he do something so pointless just to scare me? That's impossible! If I were to find a culprit for this grotesque prank with a magic circle, I could only think of the Golden Witch Beatrice. Genji, when did you notice this? When I finished my round and was about to return to the servants' room, I noticed that the door to the kitchen had been left open. Besides, there is no way a burglar would go through the trouble of coming to Rokonjima. Then who could have done this? Her. There is no need to figure that out. Goda, you will wash the dishes. I'll erase the scribbles. We should not allow them to reach the eyes of anyone else. Sorry, but I heard from Cannon that something similar to this happened before at the gardening storehouse. So, does this kind of thing happen often? Perhaps I shouldn't have asked. Even though his mouth and lips never stopped moving, Genji turned around and raised his head with a grim face. Bloody Cannon. And I told him to keep quiet about this, too. I'm sorry. Please don't scold him. I was the one who insisted. Please just tell me, did this kind of thing happen often before? It happens now and again. These pranks aren't that rare. Pranks, you say? But who could? After all, there's only the two of us here, right? Who could possibly be here except us? Of course, I didn't do this. Then did you do this, Genji? I don't understand. What does it all mean? Who did this? Don't think about it. Just be silent and clean. Never tell of this to anyone. Not to Master Kinzo, Master Kraus, not to Madame Natsuhi, and of course, not to Milady either. Cannon shall be punished later. I won't say what to anyone, so please answer me. Genji, do you think that Beatrice did this? Don't say her name so recklessly. Why? The servants who do this don't last long here. Goda, Madam highly values your cooking skill. It'd be troublesome if you had to quit. That sounded a little threatening, like some kind of mafia shit. At the same time, it seemed like he was basically admitting to this being the fault of Lady Beatrice. These strange cases, perhaps, were not limited by what happened in the gardening storehouse. And without any doubt, when this happens, it's covered up before the family can notice it. I won't speak her names carelessly again. So please, tell me, was this done by Lady Beatrice? Most likely, yes. The previous cases were even more incomprehensible, and they were definitely impossible for a human. Like what? A young servant who was doing the night round saw a golden butterfly and went after it. Arriving at the closed back door, she lost sight of the butterfly and gave up. If I'm not mistaken, when you see a golden butterfly, you're not supposed to go after it, right? Indeed. Then she turned around, and the entire wall had been painted over by magic circles, similar to this one. So that means that young servant followed after the golden butterfly, gave up, and you're telling me that in the few seconds she wasn't looking, the entire wall was painted over? She couldn't have overlooked the wall either. She couldn't have overlooked the wall either. She strongly insisted that the wall had no drawings on it at first, and she also said it happened in the few seconds it took her to check that the back door was locked and turned around. No way! You're kidding me! Couldn't it have been a joke? She called me and I came to help her to erase that. The pattern was too complex. It certainly wasn't something you could draw in a few seconds. And it wasn't something you could possibly overlook either. Right after this, the servant was hospitalized with a high fever and had to retire. She returned to her hometown afterwards and never got in touch with any of us again. Absurd! No, perhaps even that was an advanced prank. Perhaps this young servant did this herself to make fun of everybody or something. Yes, this is also a valid viewpoint. But I would like to stop talking about this now. After all, I myself had a first-hand experience with something that is definitely impossible for a human. What? Genji stopped talking there. After a long pause, he chose to ignore me completely and resumed cleaning. Genji, who is a very pragmatic person and very serious about his work, only kept silence when it came to Lady Beatrice. His silence told me that she exists, in quotes, better than a million words could. We finished the cleaning. Even if we told someone that a weird totem pole and magic circle were in the kitchen, nobody would even believe it. Genji warned me not to speak of it to anyone. I tried to forcibly erase the events of that night from my mind with strong alcohol. A long time has passed, and I chose to conclude that it was a joke from someone with awful taste. But even nowadays, I get frightened sometimes. The first thing every morning for me is to go to the kitchen and make breakfast. At those times, I get frightened that my cookware would end up piled in a strange manner again. It's better if I forget about it. I want to help myself forget by writing it down here. At any rate, I hope I will never have to go through something like this again. Goda Toshiro.
Look at all those patterns. Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh my god! Fucking jump scares! Damn it, Beatrice! Too bad you will. Oh, jeez. Oh, my God. Fucking hell! Jesus Christ. You're jump scaring me. Oh, jeez. Okay. Alrighty then. That took a lot longer than I thought it would. My God. Okay. Yeah, it's already been an hour and a half. We got 22 people here too. That's really interesting for like, if you guys would wait like maybe 2 or 3 minutes, I will conclude this stream. I'm not going to say goodnight because I'm going to be right back on with some Umineko episode 4. The very first part of it. And because it might be a bit shorter than usual because this took a bit longer than I thought it would. But I think it's a good length for the first part of Tsubasa. And we'll probably play some more after episode 4. Alright, you guys. So if you just hold on like maybe 3 or 4 minutes, I will get episode 4 ready for you. And I'm going to end this stream right here. And set up the stream for episode 4. So I will see you in less than 5 minutes.